Level 1. Starting point. You're 22 years old. You're staring at your screens on the 4th floor of an office building. It's 8:52 a.m. There are 2 monitors on your desk. Code editors are open on your screens. The thermos provided by the company is also on your desk. The first computer you're using runs Windows XP. It's slow and noisy. As a junior, you're taking on your first assignment. You'll be writing a parsing module in Python 2.6 for a customer tracking system. The seniors have left you a rough function template. You open the file. 23 lines of code. The first 14 lines look clean. On the 15th line, you notice something. A function being called unnecessarily. It's not assigned to a variable, not cached. A small, insignificant detail. But something gets stuck in your mind. A small, metallic sound. Like a gear turning the wrong way. You pick up your phone and look. You're watching the Overthinker stories on the POVerthink channel. You can't quite relate to them, even though they remind you of yourself. You fix that line. You declare the variable, move it outside the loop. Then you look at line 16. Another nagging error. Inconsistent variable naming. There's a comment on line 20. To do. Fix this later. What does that mean? When? Why? Who? It's Friday evening of the first week. 7:47 p.m. The office has emptied out. You're still sitting there. The module you wrote is working. The tests are passing. The senior developer will come by tomorrow morning to take a look, and will probably say, "Good job." But right now, you're rewriting that module's documentation, because you still don't believe it's good enough. You leave the office at 9:15 p.m. It's raining outside. A typical September rain. The smell of wet asphalt. On your way home in a taxi, you open GitHub on your phone. You approve the deletion of the comment line as the right decision. You check one last time before falling asleep. Level 2. First obsession. The space character. You've spent 5 months at the company. The seniors are satisfied with your work. You're careful, they say. You write clean code, they say. To you, these descriptions aren't enough. You take on the task of reviewing the code written by the new junior. His name is Hans. He's 26 years old and has 2 years of experience. Python 2.6 and a bit of JavaScript. The first line is clean. You keep checking until you reach line 40. There's an if block. The block is closed. There's an empty line afterward. That's normal. But at the end of that empty line, there's a character that looks like nothing's there, but is actually there. A space character. Invisible. Useless. Meaningless. But it's there. If a CT scan were done on your brain at that moment, it would show a fireball in your brain. But you don't know that. You just feel your stomach tighten a little. Not just one. Exactly 14 invisible characters. 14 times, someone skipped pressing a key to delete that space. You can't sleep. It's 2:30 a.m. You're staring at the ceiling. Those 14 lines are spinning in your mind. Each one is proof of a lack of discipline. The fact that you can't fix them bothers you even more. You can't fix them because these are Hans's codes. 7 a.m. You open your code editor and create a configuration file. You use this file on your own computer. This error is now physically impossible. But Hans doesn't have this file on his computer. You suggest installing this file on all the company's computers. Now Hans can't make this mistake. Level 3. Ascension. People as bugs. You're 26 years old. Exactly 4 years have passed since you started working. You're now a senior developer. You've written 60% of the company's back-end infrastructure. You're at the office by 7:15 a.m. You spend the first 45 minutes reading the code that was running the previous night. You've conditioned yourself to spend the entire day reading code and hunting for bugs. That same year, you start a new relationship. Her name is Christine. She's a designer. Her desk is messier than yours, and she has a habit of leaving things unfinished. But the results are good. That's not enough for you. The first few months go well, but after 3 months, you start to notice. Christine has a different approach to time. A meeting scheduled for 7 p.m., according to Christine, can start any time between 7 and 7:15 p.m. This bothers you. Level 4. Lead developer. Control mechanisms. You're 29 years old. You list lead developer on your LinkedIn profile. This title isn't a reward for you. It's a responsibility. There are 8 people on your team. You keep track of each person's coding style error patterns, and strengths and weaknesses. Marcus builds good data models, but doesn't like to optimize SQL queries. Leo writes code quickly, but keeps test coverage low. Each one has their own profile. They're systems with their own configuration issues. During this process, you start having issues with your relationship with Christine and end it. There's no big fight. Just one evening Christine tells you, you're not here anymore, and you think to yourself, she's right, you really aren't here. After the breakup, you feel more at ease. This worries you for a short while. Level 5. Mechanization, the shift in thought patterns. You're 35 years old. You realize you no longer look at people's faces. On some days when you're working remotely, during online meetings, you're not looking at the small square in the bottom left corner of the screen where the other person's video is. You're looking at your code, at your notes. One day, Clara from the team wants to grab coffee with you. Just to chat, she says. There's no reason, she just wants to talk. You tell her you can only spare an hour. You sit across from her. She talks, you listen. But in a corner of your mind, different thought threads are running in the background. Clara asks, what are you thinking about? We need to constantly update our standards, you say. An answer out of context. We always need to update our standards. Clara smiles, a slightly strange smile, and changes the subject. It's late at night, and you're back home, sitting at the table. You turn on the computer. It's 11:47 p.m. Level 6. Isolation. While firing the last people 38 years old. Something is changing this year. The change is gradual, but at a certain point, it becomes irreversible. Your team is writing a new microservice, a user notification system, a simple task, a 1-week sprint. But you've been writing this service for 4 months. Why? Because at every sprint review, you find something and freeze the process. In the second sprint, the database schema was approved, but then you noticed an error. Revert the schema. This toolchain's configuration isn't standardized enough. Stop. You're right. Every time you pause. Every technical argument is valid. You're now working entirely from home. You go into the office once a week, usually on Wednesdays, because physical access is required for some system maintenance tasks. There's no other reason. There are 3 people left on your team. Clara, a new hire, and an intern. Clara sends you a private message this month. I need to talk to you. Clara tells you that team morale is very low. Code review processes have become stifling, and people don't feel safe. You take note of what Clara says. Changes will be evaluated. You end the meeting. You wake up at 2 a.m. and think about Clara's statement. We don't feel safe. You can't sleep. This isn't a bug, but you can't quite put your finger on what it is either. Level 7. The end and the beginning of the cycle. You're 45 years old. Very little has changed at the company. The technical infrastructure has changed. There are now 350 microservices, but you haven't changed. Your home office now looks like a small data center. There are not 4 monitors on your desk, but 6. 2 of them are entirely for monitoring dashboards. You're constantly watching them. Your first task in the morning is to check them. Your last task at night is to shut them down. It's 11:58 p.m. Aside from the blue-white light emanating from the monitors, the room is dark. Under this light, the color of your hands is as pale as hands under the fluorescent lights in a hospital corridor. Your phone vibrates. A message from HR. There's an interview today for a new junior developer. Before noon. You've been asked to conduct the technical interview. At noon, you enter the interview room. Sitting across from you is a 23-year-old young man. His name is Matthias. He has a degree in software engineering, 6 months of internship experience, and 14 open-source contributions on his GitHub profile. You see something else besides potential. There's a "I should have done better" look on Matthias' face. A sense of unease that something isn't quite right. You recognize that look. The interview ends. Matthias says thank you, shakes your hand firmly, and walks out the door. The door closes. If you want to see others like you on the morning after a night of deep reflection, don't forget to subscribe to POVerthink.